So you get a launch card like this, and then it says the information up here, and in theory you have everything that you need in this spot, but oftentimes you don't. And so for instance, we have email configuration here, and it says they have email through Gmail. And ideally that would say something more specific, because that could mean that they have it through Google Suites, or it could mean that they just use regular Gmail and there's no need for us whatsoever. Natural interpretation of that would be, oh, they have a gmail.com address down here, they probably just use regular Gmail. But we need to make sure, anytime that we're doing this, that we know exactly what's true. Even though they say it really explicitly to us, you're probably always going to want to double check to make sure that what they're saying is true. Let's see, we need security trails. This is where we're going to go. So MX Toolbox is where I normally have gone for things like this, but really it's more fun to go here, and then it will give you results that are more expansive, that are really what you need. So this is security. You can just search for securitytrails.com. There's other stuff that was a part of that address up there, but that gets you the idea that you need. This tells you all your different DNS records here in one place. And what's really great about this, though, is that they have the historical records for all these things as well. So it's not just right now. It'll show you what their records have been in years past. And so you can look back through and see what they've been at some other time. That's helpful if you, say, inadvertently change DNS in a way that breaks things. It's also helpful to be able to figure out what company has been controlling things at different times. It can be pretty revealing in a lot of ways. So you can come through here and you can look at all these things that have been there now and in times past. But if you're just here on the main page here, then you can see this is through Google rather than being through their email being just through Gmail. Then they have it set up to be a part of their website. And so then we know that we're going to need to set up this site to support Google Suites. And we almost wouldn't have if we wouldn't have come here and checked that. And you can see that their name servers are going to a place that is not just regular GoDaddy stuff, and so you know that you're going to need to be changing their name servers and not just their A record. So we log in here, pretend that we logged in, and because what we already did. You can imagine how it was. You've logged in other places before. Make sure that you're careful about looking at what site you're going to be changing the DNS for. It's pretty easy to be able to end up with the wrong one. There are just a lot of times where they are very similar from one thing to the next. So make sure you look at it carefully. We're going with CrossFitUnstoppable.com. We're going to manage the DNS. And you can see that the name servers are set to somewhere that's not GoDaddy, just like we saw on the other site. And so that means we're going to need to change it to our site. And we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Now here's something important. When we change this right now, we don't have any account set up on our end to support this. And you could have done that beforehand and gotten part of that set up so that the process was quicker. I'm going to do it quickly. You might want to set it up completely on the server before you get to this point. But what we're not doing is we're not going to be setting up the website to have the actual WordPress site installed there at that time. I'm going to start typing this stuff, and then I can explain why on the other stuff in just a moment. Sorry, ns1.inmotionhosting.com and ns2.inmotionhosting.com. And then we click save, and that's going to start happening. But it's going to take a few minutes before it becomes reality, which means that we have some time here in front of us to be able to get the thing actually set up more of the way. But we're not going to end up actually putting the site on there until it is pointed to us. Managed WP will see that earlier than what any people in real life will really be seeing that. And so that means that we have this window of time, as long as we're ready to work on this right now, and we're not going to get distracted and have it be an hour later or something that we finally get around to doing it. As long as we're going to do it right now, then we are much better off doing it this way. Otherwise, there's a lot more steps, and there are almost no steps. Instead, it's just clicking a few buttons in Manage WP to be able to make it a reality. This used to fill that in automatically right there. But these days it doesn't. I don't really know why. You don't need this password right here. It can be whatever random thing. It really doesn't matter. Make this admin at megaphone-designs.com. Make this unlimited Zimmer. And then this is going to be a remote mail exchanger, and the reason why it's remote is because we were doing the Google thing, right? And so that's not going to be done on our server. That's going to be done elsewhere, so it's remote. If you're not sure, you can set it to automatic, and that would be fine. We're going to create this. It'll take a moment to create. Used to be you could click over here and start searching for your next thing, but they don't let you do that anymore, which is probably reasonable, but it slows me down. And then we have CrossFit Unstoppable. Make sure you get the right one, because we have two CrossFit things on this account. And I am on the wrong place. Shoot. Well, that's just the way it is. Normally this is where I'd stop the video and delete it and make myself look better. That is not what's happening today. Because I don't want to do everything else that I did, and I would like you to see this. So, I got distracted as we were talking, and I went to the wrong server. And I realized it when I was thinking, there should not be two CrossFit websites here. And the only reason why that matters is because it's going to probably be stuck for a moment pointing to the wrong server, which is annoying. Let's try this again. There we go. CrossFit Unstoppable. This is where it should be. Let's hope we can get this to work. And then we're going to make that a better username. And we're going to generate that random password and say that we have copied it, even though we didn't really, and it's a bit of a lie. This all looks more correct now. There were way too many packages on the other one, and I knew that at the time too, and I thought, that's weird. I wonder why there are so many packages here. And I should have stopped, but I did not. And then, now we're getting back into the right sort of place though. And we just need to change that so that it's not set as root. And then now, we're going to go to cPanel through this. We could go to just the cPanel thing regularly, but then instead we're going to go through here. And then we can click the cPanel button, and now we pop in there. And then we need to install WordPress, and you do that through Site Software. And whatever happens in this step really doesn't matter very much, because whatever you're creating right now isn't going to stay there anyway. You can look at the advanced configuration and set username, password stuff all correctly, but it's just going to get written over in a moment anyway, so all you need it for is for this one little moment. And now it has happened, and then we are going to add a web, unstoppable.com with 2 P's, not 3. And that's our username, but just for right now, so there's not even a security risk in having this video existing, because it's only going to be our username and password for a moment. By the time anyone sees this, it will not be. And now it is adding that site, and we're hoping it's just going to add it right away. And it did not, which is concerning, because that probably means that I messed up the other stuff with it. We're going to go over here and check to see what it is right now. It is going to the right one. Well, let's try again. And let's make sure that we actually got the address right. That's the same thing, right? Yep. Okay, let's try it one more time and see. Still not 3 P's in that word. Let's see, that was the password, right? Yep. And username. It's trying harder this time. I think it's going to make it this time. Yep, there we go. Okay, now that that's added, then you go over here to your demo site, and then what we're going to be able to do is just clone this guy or girl over. And we're going to go and click create a new backup for your website and use it for cloning. I am almost certain that there's nothing new on here at this moment, but just in case, you know, David's been freelancing lately, and not literal freelancing, just doing some work on this site that has happened unbeknownst to me at times. So I'm going to clone it over to CrossFitUnstoppable.com. We have Megaphone demo /CFU, and now we're going to go over, and it's going to clone it over for us, and then it will just do what it needs to do. Now, right now, I probably have the old IP address stashed there. I mean, by stashed, I mean cached. So what we need to do then is go to terminal, and then we need to type in sudo nano /private /etc/host, And then you need to enter in the password that you have for your computer. And then you need to go with your number here. I did it with only 2 P's that time. And then you go with Control O, and then you hit enter. And then now, if we load the same thing, oh, I might have left out the www on the second one. Did I? No. CrossFitUnstoppable.com. That's weird. That should just work instantly. Well, that'll work here in a moment. In the meantime, we can load it up in Firefox, and maybe it won't be there. There we go. And that's it right there. And just for this little bit of time, if someone hasn't visited the site before and they're visiting it for the first time, then for this moment it would say hello world. We're talking about a few minutes. It'll be done here very soon. It has a little bit more to copy over than what they do sometimes because it has to go through the whole backup process on the other one first, and then it will do it. But still, within 3 to 5 minutes here, it's going to be done. And we won't wait that whole time for that to happen. Once that does happen, though, then you need to make sure you get the post-launch check going on it. You can do that personally, or you can just put it up there, and there might be somebody else who can get to it sooner than what you can, but we at least need to make sure that it's up there. And the person launching the site needs to get the post-launch check up. And so you are working now, but you weren't before, and that's okay. I'll message you now, and uh-oh. Well, so I already finished that. So we're safe on that part. Let's try this again. Well, we'll let this go through. If you run into a situation where something's not working, you can always contact me, of course. But typically this process would go without a hitch, and so it's very unusual for it to have anything happen aside from success. But typically it should work fine for you. I guess I didn't quite finish this here. As we speak, /chat. There we go. So we got that taken care of. So it gives you the basic idea of what we do. You can come back through and watch this video at the time if you need to, once you're actually ready to launch a site. Most of it makes a lot of sense. Basic steps are you need to look carefully at the information that's been provided to you, double check to see whether it is accurate in any way that you can. You're going to change the DNS and create an account within WHM, and then you're going to install WordPress on that account via cPanel and site software there. And then you will add the site to manage WP, and then you will clone over the demo site onto the regular site, the actual live site. And then normally that will just be it, and it will be done. That should be all. Yep. Okay. Let me know if you have questions or concerns.